MacArthur, and I am one of the producers of GabbaLand. I could not be happier to welcome you to the journey to GabbaLand, our panel. And this has been many years in the making for us. As those of you who watched the first series are aware, we couldn't be happier to be coming back and to share a lot of new details with you today. First, I'm going to introduce our moderator, but it's a man who really needs no introduction to this crowd. You may know him from his legendary stand-up, from Pixar's Ratatouille, The Goldbergs, MODOK, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., BoJack Horseman, Dark Horses, and now Netflix's Minor Threats. And more importantly for our purposes today, the Caveman Kaboom, and as the voice of Croaky in DJ Lance's Super Music and Toy Room. Everybody, give it up for Mr. Patton Oswalt.
This is the last day of the con. I know everyone is dehydrated, exhausted, but you showed up for Yo Gabba Gabba. I love this so much. I'm going to tell a very brief story about my time on Yo Gabba Gabba. I got cast as a Caveman Kaboom, and my daughter at the time, who was, yes, that's me, and then also that's the Croaky, which I did in the voice of the lead singer of the Human League. So look at how happy that caveman is right there. Well, what you don't see is right off camera is my 4-year-old daughter having the biggest meltdown of her life because she loved Yo Gabba Gabba, and I thought, oh, I'm going to be dad of the year. I'm going to take her to Yo Gabba GabbaLand until she met everybody and got her hugs, and then Daddy said, go stand over there while I dance and play with them. So it was this horrible core memory that she now has of her father not letting her play with her favorite people on the planet. Be very, very careful what you wish for. I love this show because it was one of those great shows that parents could watch with the kids. Oh my God, MTMG is playing. Oh my God, there's Jack Black, there's Sarah Silverman. Like, it was so, and of course, the fabulous Biz Marquee, which introduced him. One of my daughter's first favorite songs was Just a Friend, and she was very concerned. She would want to listen to it all the time, but then she would go, later on, did the girl apologize for being mean to him? She really wanted to know that. So, yes, very much tied in with this show. And I can't believe I get to host this panel, their return. So without further ado, let us bring on the co-creators of Yo Gabba Gabba, Scott Schultz and Christian Jacob. Let's bring them out here. Yeah. We did it. Yeah. Oh my God, it says here on the show order, now I'm supposed to tell my personal anecdote, but I told it earlier. How do you guys, were you guys there when I was filming?
Yeah. I think I directed that episode where you were filming.
Okay.
And I remember the meltdown. It was great.
Yeah, it was really, my wife had to literally take her out of the soundstage. She was freaking out so hard.
Yeah, it was super cute.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be in her.
She got some FaceTime with the characters.
She did get some FaceTime.
Yeah.
But then, anyway.
Yeah, and we also had Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros were on that episode.
That's right.
Yeah. And they were caveman as well. It was dinosaur thing.
Oh my gosh.
That's a great episode, by the way. Patton, come on, let's go.
I got to do really, really cool stuff on that show. And I got to, and again, getting to watch it. What was it like when the first time when the show was on and it kind of blew up and was kind of having its cultural moment? How did that feel for you guys? Because I remember back in the day at VH1, I and Blaine Capatch were working on doing an Aquabats show.
Yes.
Trying to develop an Aquabats show. So it was amazing to see it come full circle like that. How did that feel, though? And where did Yo Gabba Gabba come from?
You go, Scott.
It felt amazing.
Yeah.
I think we didn't quite know. We were just doing something that was fun for us and fun that we wanted to have fun with our kids. So it was kind of honest when we first went into it, and kind of weird. We knew that maybe the executives wouldn't get it, so we.
Yeah, and Scott, just to go back a little further, Scott and I, we've been friends since we were little. You go back to that last slide, is we met when we were about 15 or 16, and we just became really fast friends. We loved the same music. We liked going surfing. That's us there. We're like little kids with surfboards, and then that's me at my wedding. We've been friends for a long, long time, and doing lots of projects together. And when we started a family, we started separate families. We were like, let's do something for our kids. Yeah, let's do something for our kids. It'd be fun, right? And then it just kind of snowballed from there. It didn't happen right away. It took many years, because we would go pitch the show to people like on paper, and we'd have pictures of the characters.
They didn't quite get it.
And they'd be like, oh, so it's an animated show. We'd be like, no, it's live action, like, Sesame Street or, Puff and Stuff. And they'd be like, wait, let's look again. And then the characters would be on the page and they were just drawings. They'd be like, oh, so it's an animation. I'm like, no. So we ended up making the show ourselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like, we were just excited about kids' entertainment in general. Mm-hmm. Like, we genuinely loved as adults, like weird, obscure 60s Japanese, kids shows. And we were like, why not? Why not do something amazing for our own kids? Like, we were just barely having kids, and we wanted to be a preschooler again also, so.
But you reinforced something really cool in the show in terms of music, in that don't just play your kids the music you already like, and they will end up. So when my daughter was growing up, her favorites were the Beatles and Bowie and the Ramones, because
Ramones
didn't care about the lyrics, but the hopping up and down.
Yeah.
Like, it's so the fact that you were bringing in contemporary bands that I liked, they became the band she liked. Like kids will. And again, when I was growing up, I remember seeing Stevie Wonder on Sesame Street doing Superstition, and it made me a Stevie Wonder fan.
Yeah, and I think that was a tradition that we grew up with as well, like watching Sesame Street, Electric Company, and you have all these amazing artists and musicians on the show doing something for kids and getting down in the sandbox and playing with their kids. And then it just seemed like that kind of went away a little bit, like it just kind of disappeared. Mm-hmm. And we definitely wanted to bring that back to our kids, to our generation of our kids.
Yeah, I think we were just naive enough to say like, oh, this could be amazing. Like, look at all the opportunities. Like, why not have bands on, Just doing songs where they sound like the band, but they're doing lyrics that, preschoolers can identify.
Why can't Weezer dress up like a bunch of insects?
Why not?
Yeah.
Now, when did you first kind of realize, oh, this has gotten beyond our control, or this gotten even bigger? What was the first band that said, oh yeah, I'll do that show?
I think it was beyond the bands. For me, it was walking into the live show the first time and seeing thousands of little kids with their parents and feeling the vibrations of love and excitement. And that to me was the moment of like, oh wow, this is well beyond what we intentioned. This is kind of amazing, like beautiful in a way that I don't think we ever really intended on.
Yeah, it got way bigger than some of its parts. It's taken on this kind of magical thing that it just can't be stopped in a way. And for me, I agree with Scott, the live tour, but when we shot the pilot and we found Biz Marquis on Facebook, and he just happened to be in town, and we were like, Biz, we want you to come and do this kids show thing. And we shot this segment with him, and afterwards he's like, if you guys get the show picked up, I want to teach kids how to beatbox.
Yeah.
It was like that kind of like, let's shoot it right now. Let's do it.
Wow.
And got a camera, let's do this.
And so many magical things happened, and while we were shooting that Biz segment, we've all done productions that are kind of miserable and not fun, and it was just like this magic fun thing that it was very liquid, because we could just go, okay, Biz, let's do it right now. And that was kind of started the spirit of Gabba becoming bigger than it is, because it was just something that happened, and we said, yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah. When I went to the live show, the one shirt, they sold the shirts with the characters on them. The shirt that Alice wanted was the Biz's Beat of the Day shirt. That was her, because I wanted Beat of the Day. She loved Beat of the Day so much.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I love Biz. Biz was great. He showed up to every live show, and like, he would read stories to kids afterwards.
Yeah.
He never missed a live show.
Yeah.
He was there for the kids, like, first and foremost.
Oh yeah, but then when he would sing Just a Friend, all the adults would lose their minds. Lose their
And for
minds.
Scott and I, like, you know, Scott was a DJ, a wedding DJ, and I would be the MC, and like we did all kinds of fun stuff together. Music we've always been in bands and stuff, so becoming friends with someone like Biz Markie for us was like insane, and getting a call and you look on your ID and it's Biz Markie. Yeah. Christian, yo, what are you doing? Like he would just call to see how I was.
Biz taught us a lot.
You're Biz Markie, don't you have like some records to sell or something? And he was just the best guy, such a great guy.
Well, let's bring out the voices of the world that you built.
Yeah.
Bring them all up here and say hello. This is, of course, the original voice cast of Yo Gabba Gabba, so please put your hands together. The voice of Plex, Christian Jacobs, already on the stage.
Hello, everyone.
The voice of Muno, Adam Deibert. The voice of Foofa, Emma Penrose. The voice of Brobee, Watene. And the voice of Toodee, Erin Pearce. So this first question I'm going to ask to kind of everybody, all the voice people on the panel, because this was, again, family and friends coming together to make something that they love. So you all, you know, kind of created these iconic characters and voices, but there were other random odd jobs you guys would do on the show, other characters that you played to kind of fill in. What were some of your most memorable ones?
Yeah, we had a lot of odd jobs, and then I was lucky enough to have another full job on there as well as one of the staff songwriters and composers, and wrote the Edward Sharp and the Neg Zeros Dinosaur Party song and the Weezer All My Friends Are Insects song and stuff like that, which was...
Adam has written so many songs for the show.
The core songwriter.
Did you write Bananas, Rice, Applesauce, Toast?
I did write Bananas.
Yeah,
That one was close to my heart.
whenever Alice would get sick, we would sing this. You know what you gotta have. She goes, okay.
I made sure that was scientifically correct, other than, unlike the Weezer one, which was way off. I said an earth. So I apologize for that. And then also, I got to be in a costume every now and then. We got to be in, there was a Yo Dazzlers, which was like a band that was on the show, like a puppet band, and all four of the staff songwriters were in the costumes together, and did the voices too, so that was like a pretty exciting, kind of odd job. And yeah, a couple, yeah, those are my odd
I didn't even know that photo existed.
Digital unicorn. That picture of Adam on the left there, that's at lunchtime. Every lunchtime we'd have a costume contest, and I think Adam won that day, so he was giving a speech to like...
Yeah.
Yeah, appearing as Digital Unicorn.
We didn't have Hawaiian shirt Fridays, we had like different costumes every day.
Yeah, every day was a different
Stage
costume
day.
contest. Yeah.
I was a winner.
Anyway, keep going. What
Yeah.
did you do on Tattoo Day?
Yeah, I won one of the costume contests, and it was really exciting because Jason Bateman was there, and that day, and I was also in the costume as the character actor dancer in Foofa, right? And so yeah, I'd be really sweaty, and we'd have to wear these under like athletic clothes. It was hard. It was a little more difficult for me to dress up, but somebody was we had a cast off like box of like, oh, if you have extra costumes for people that want to dress up and wear something silly, and so there was a child's costume of a bee, and it was 90s day, and I just stuck the bee costume right over my neck, and you'd go around and be like, hey everybody, like, okay, what are you from the 90s? What are you from the 90s? And I was like, all I can say is that my life is pretty plain. From Blind Melon. Blind Melon.
I know.
And I won it! I'm so excited!
That was awesome. Yeah, speaking of like contest days, that was the day when the Black Kids came and they did a song called What's Up Clown. And so I was also in the costume of Plex during the live tour, and then wrote a few songs like Lovely Love My Family and the Eric Badu song.
I love that song.
But also just got to do, these were the funnest. So I was a dancing clown in this random episode, and it looks really horrible. It's like really frightening.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
It was like, hey, yeah. Speaking of.
That's me. And I took my dance seriously because I was ballet trained. So like, I remember the choreographer being like, Emma, like, you gotta smile. Because I was like, happy clown. Happy clown.
What about you, Erin?
I was actually the original costume character for Brobee before I was cast as Toodee. So I had been partying my tummy, I'm that Brobee, and then,
Yes,
that was. See, he's real. And then, funny enough, my sister became another Brobee, so me and my sister would like pass off the costume. But I think the weirdest job I had was being the Oski Bug Queen from the Babies episode. You guys know that one? But it's just because when you're used to like a costume that is so like on your body and you're like, okay, this is my whole body. The bean shape of the Oski bug was like concave. I felt like I could live in there. What's the rent? Like, it was fun. But yeah, the random characters.
Yeah, for sure. Odd jobs, like when we were security guards for the night, for like, we had this, when we were shooting.
Literal security guard.
Jack Black was coming the next day, and so we were given the job to be security guards. I don't know, we're the two shortest people.
Yeah, it's like, who's gonna
Really
be
random.
scared of us? These goblins are gonna come and get us if we break into this dairy farm, whatever it was.
But we had to keep the doors open because it was so like stanky and smelly.
It smelled like costumes.
So
It smelled like sweaty costumes.
we didn't want it to smell like that when Jack Black showed up. So we were like, hey, let's just make sure it smells nice in here. So
Which is like a weird, that's such a weird thing to be concerned about because Jack Black is gonna talk about how much it smells here. He's gonna go on E! Entertainment and say, yo, Gabba smells.
Now, you each develop these characters, but is there a specific kind of facet to their personality that you feel like you brought to each one of them that is kind of essential, like an essential core thing?
Well, I think I leaned in pretty hard to the neurotic nature of Muno and the fear, the general sort of like unsureness, which I feel as a real human pretty strongly a lot of the time. So I was able to do that pretty well. And then also, I think there was the kind of like idea of the Muno voice was sort of like 3 years old, just unbridled enthusiasm and excitement to the point where you can't even handle it anymore. So everything that comes out is just 100% of amped. And I can get there, so I think I like took that and put it in there as much as I could.
Not to cut you guys off real quick, but just when when we created Gabba together, we didn't go to like a casting agent. We didn't go to Hollywood and say, hey, we need to find actors. We just found our friends. And you look at YouTube now, and that's pretty much all YouTube. It's just normal people making their own theme. And we're just normal dads making our own theme. We didn't like go out and, hey, we gotta find someone that can do this or that. We said, who do we know that could write songs? Who do you know that has a good voice that could match Foofa? Oh, Emma's voice is very unique, or Erin's voice pretty much is Toodee.
It's true, I sound just like
And so, for us, finding the characteristics of each character and then matching them up with basically our friends or our family was fun.
well, they know I'm always the last one at the food table. So of course there's a party in my tummy all the time. So. Hey, But yeah, food probably, and I also have like short guy syndrome because I'm pretty short. So of course I want to be big.
Short King.
I always envy the tall guys, but then they're like, oh, being tall stinks. You hit your head on stuff. Okay. Okay, fine, I'll take it.
I remember us just being in a room, like playing with what voices we can do, and it was so what a so grateful for the opportunity because I've been acting or going on auditions since I was a baby, really. And so who knew that like I would get such an incredible booking, right, in my early 20s. And I think that for me, the Foofa, like, she is a very loving character. And I grew up helping my special needs little brother and sister, and I'm so thankful because
Isn't she sweet? You know,
She's really
the embodiment of Foofa. You should see a flower just coming out of her head right now.
I think some of our #1 fans are the best fans of the show that have been, you know, on the spectrum and differently abled, and so then they have such loyalty, you know, and they find us, and it's so meaningful, and it's really blessed their lives. So, yeah, and you know, the wonder of Foofa. You know, she's a flower bubble monster, and
so we do a lot of airy, like, you know, and people used to maybe call me a bit of an airhead with some. But
I guess, what do I bring to Toodee? Especially this season, Toodee is kind of spicy.
Yes.
I like to think that is inspired by me. I think that the characters this season experience a lot more depth of emotion and a lot of range, because, you know, like, our audience grew up and they have kids now too, and there's like different ways of parenting now, and you know, emotions and recognizing your emotions are on the forefront. And I think that this season specifically, we're addressing a lot of like the more complex emotions that children have. And I think Toodee has some really interesting, like, I don't want to say like angry moments, but she gets very frustrated with things, and that is absolutely me. Like, I feel like they were writing this season and they're like, well, what would Erin do? Oh, she'd get so upset. She would get so upset. And she'd probably sing about it. She'd probably sing about how upset she is. Yeah, I don't know. I just think her playfulness and her vocal undulations are
I think
Right.
I think something that's really cool about being part of our cast too is that we were often in this tiny little box all together. So when we're voicing off, we're really bouncing off each other. That's what's unique about this season. We didn't really get to do that much.
Yeah.
I mean, with this new show, sorry. But back in the day, it was like we were like just laughing and talking and really being.
regretting having Chipotle.
Yeah.
Being in a little room together that's like sealed. Gotta turn the air off because you can hear it. Toodee. And I'm sorry.
It was really hard to get anything done.
And Erin, I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit, because I will say I was intimidated to meet Erin before, you know, we were able to all meet and voice together in a room, which really doesn't happen too much in voiceover these days anymore. It's a different change in the way things in production is done. But Christian really advocated for trying to, at least with this GabbaLand, to have those experiences and made it happen. And but I was gonna say, for Toodee, I was intimidated to meet her because she's like a comic book. I mean, she's an artist. And comic book, she like hangs out with the boys of like, oh yeah, this video game and that thing, and like me having 3 brothers, like I was like, she's like the cool girl, like the skater girl. And move over, Avril Lavigne, Toodee.
Well, speaking of GabbaLand, why don't we watch the trailer?
Yeah.
Where GabbaLand come from? How was that? Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I think originally we had this idea for a movie where the Gabba table just expanded off into the expanse. And so, coming back, talking about what this could be, Christian really had the genius idea of how could we do this GabbaLand.
Yeah, and you know,
when we were talking about making the film, we were working with Thomas Lennon, and we were talking with Ben Durant, and we were talking about an idea where the table would disappear and essentially become a whole world. And and that was years and years ago. And then when we kind of were coming up with a new idea, we're like, we didn't really think there was a whole lot wrong with Yo Gabba Gabba. We just wanted more of it, and we just wanted to make more. And so by expanding into Yo Gabba GabbaLand, we could focus a little bit more on, you know, a bigger world, and also because our world has gotten so close together with technology and the internet, it seems easier to be in touch with our friends and family around the world. And so why not kind of replicate that a little bit in expanding Yo Gabba GabbaLand into different regions that represent deserts and lakes and hills and mountains. Anyway, so the idea was to basically make the same show but just bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
Yeah. And you know, with technology the way it is, and a lot of shows being shot using volume screen technology, no one's doing a preschool show like The Mandalorian, you know what I mean? Except for us. We tried it. And it worked awesome.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It was a lot harder than we thought it was going to be. It was tricky. Because the old show, we could just flip the lights on and just shoot. And this one, we had to create all those worlds and figure out how they get. And the hardest part with the volume screen technology, was I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with from seeing shows like Mandalorian and stuff, is the floors. Sliding the floors in and out is like, how do you seamlessly change from scene to scene with different floors? And you know, there's a lot of technical stuff we had to figure out. We have amazing teams.
Yeah, it was kind of an experiment for us because it meant of like everything fun of an older sister that she brings to the table. She's amazing. Her name's Kamryn, and we call her Kammy Cam.
And we'd like to bring her out. Let's hear it for Kammy Cam.
Welcome to Comic-Con, Kammy Cam.
Kammy Cam.
Kammy Cam. Now, what's it like being the host of Yo Gabba Gabba? Were you old enough to have watched the original? Did you ever see the original?
Yes, it is so crazy because it's from seeing a different person on the screen, because I used to watch this all the time, and then seeing myself on the screen, so it's crazy. And then my brother, he used to watch it all the time, so he's like, I actually don't believe this. And I'm like, same with my mom too, and my dad. My whole family's going crazy right now.
Now, how did you go from being Kamryn Smith to Kammy Cam? What's the story? How did you get cast?
So, this is kind of a long story, but I did another shoot, and...
Commercial, right?
Yeah, a commercial, and we met this guy, Christian, and he tapped my mom in the back, and he was like, is this your daughter? And my mom was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm the host of Yo Gabba Gabba, and my mom was like, no way, this is not real. And he was like, I think your daughter would be like a great fit because we're thinking of doing a reboot. And my mom was like, wait, are you serious? And you know, we did. It was like 2 years passed, did an audition, and this came up, and I'm here now.
I was working on a commercial as a prop guy at the end of 2020 because there was no production going on.
Oh, that's right,
The
yeah.
producer called me and said, hey, you want to be a prop guy on the commercial? I'm shooting in Arizona. And I said, yes, please.
Yeah.
Kammy was working on the shoot, and it was just magic. Like, she was just magical. And we were already talking with Apple a little bit about rebooting the show. Mm-hmm. And at the time, we didn't know in what capacity, but I was like, I gotta get her number. We gotta figure out how, because she was just so good. And that was in 2020, so that was 4 years ago.
Wow.
We just kept in touch the whole time. And the process in this business sometimes takes a long time.
Yes, it does.
And Kammy was a lot shorter than that back then.
Growing up, Kammy.
But she's just amazing energy to the show. And the idea behind a new host, like Scott said, it was more to kind of mirror the play pattern that kids do when they're actually playing with their toys, and kind
kind of give the empowerment a little bit to the kids. I think in the former show, you know, we obviously loved DJ Lance and the way that all went down, but even with Lance and Plex and the way that they kind of like were everything, you know, they could do anything, anything could happen. Kind of wanted to put it back into the hands of the kids and let their imagination do the talking a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea has always been the wonder, like recapturing the wonder of being a preschool kid, like the wonder of seeing your world through the imaginative eyes of bringing anything to life, right? And that's what DJ Lance kind of embodied and was like helping to show. And so it's always been for us wanting to, you know, take that next step so kids really imagine that they are Kammy Cam, they are the magician bringing their toys to life.
Wow. So, are you excited to see a premiere?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, cool. Now, this time around, how aware were you of like musical guests and celebrities? Were people really anxious to collaborate?
It was exciting. Well, here's the deal. I can just say from the very start, we've always wanted Yo Gabba to be a music show. We've always considered it core, fundamentally a music show. And I mean, the core of us being together has been going to see shows, going to bands,
writing songs.
Hang on, I hate to interrupt you guys. There's suddenly 6 posters up there. What's that 6th
Hey,
poster?
there she is.
Whoa, a Kammy Cam poster.
Get your ticket.
What?
It's going to be exciting.
They tried to sneak that by us. Someone's going to win this Kammy Cam poster.
What we have this time around in the reboot, not only the power of Apple TV, which is very powerful, but we also had a bunch of seasons that preceded this show. So the response from musicians
Must have been crazy.
It was
right?
crazy. Like everyone wanted to do the show, and what we ran into was scheduling. So there's Thundercat, which is a really funny story. We can tell it in a second, but the whole thing with musicians and celebrities is everyone said yes.
Yeah.
And schedules just kind of got in the way, and so whoever made it just happened to be available at the time.
Oh, nice.
And Thundercat's an interesting story because he was like, yes, I'm in. On the phone, we were talking to him and he said, do you guys know how magic orange cats are? And we were like, yeah, orange cats, cool. He's like, let me just tell you, orange cats are magical. And if you can make me an orange cat suit, I'll come be on the show. Like, we can do that. And we were like, done. Yes. And then he disappeared. And so one day on the set, we couldn't get a hold of him. One day on the set, I was talking with Cammy's mom, Adriana, and she's like, so what guests are coming? Who's coming? And I was like, well, you know, we've been talking to this person, that person, schedules are weird. The one thing I thought was weird is Thundercat was gonna come. She's like, oh, or she asked me, she's like, hey, who did that last song? It sounded like Thundercat. I was like, oh, it was one of our artists. And anyway, we got talking about Thundercat. And I said, yeah, he just kind of disappeared. And she's like, wait, what? You guys been talking to him? And I said, yeah. And then do you want to tell the rest of the story, Cam?
So yeah, my mom actually used to date Thundercat.
They were high school sweethearts.
Real story comes out.
Until she found my dad. So she actually used to date Thundercat, and she used to hate him. And then now she's kind of close with him. So they're kind of friends now, so it's fine.
Yeah, so she's on the set, and then Adriana, her mom, goes, hold on a second, and she dials his number and puts him on FaceTime, and he's like, hey, what's up? And she gives the phone to Kammy, and she's dressed in her new outfit.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait, what's going on? Where are you right now? She's like, we're on the set of Yo Gabba Gabba. And he was like, what? So we caught him watching cartoons, and he was, Adriana forced him to come out.
Well, welcome to showbiz, Kammy.
And he was amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
He just got busy.
Let's show an exclusive clip. This next clip has not been online. You are all watching it for the first time. Foofa! Let's welcome Foofa. There she is! Plex the Magic Robot!
Hey everyone!
Theodore! the mic is, walk up to the mic here in this aisle. You can ask questions of the characters, and they are more than happy to answer. So yes, right where the guy's holding up the sign, that, and our first question is right there.
Hi, I was wondering if for the new show, if we're gonna get any new live shows.
It's a great question. Maybe Plex can answer that one.
Plex, what do you think?
I think yes. Yes, we're planning it now. We're going over all the spreadsheets and the things you need to plan a live show, and it's gonna be wonderful. Everyone's invited.
Okay, next question.
What happened to DJ Lance Rock?
Who wants this one?
Plex's best friend.
I love DJ Lance. He's still one of my best friends. Yes, DJ Lance Rock is still our great friend. He is the host of Yo Gabba Gabba. And now we have Kammy Cam as the host of Yo Gabba GabbaLand. And you can expect to see possible collaborations between the two in the near future.
You can see DJ Lance Rock downstairs at Comic-Con. He has a booth. And we said hi, and that we love him, and that we're just so excited to hang out again.
All right, next question.
I don't have really a question, but just a big thanks. The show